Greetings and welcome to another Diablo 2 Resurrected video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Vengeance Paladin. I wanted to do that for quite some time and now finally we are going to dive into it. This is a high-end build. A budget build video might come later if I find a viable setup to that. But let's dive in to the skill tree. I have 20 into Vengeance. As you can see, it gives plus attack rating, not too much, it's only 340%, it's not super high. And then it adds fire, cold, and lightning damage to your attack, and also a cold length to that. As you can see, these are varying in numbers because I also pumped it up through various synergies, more on that in a second. Other than that, in combat skills, only 1 point into Holy Shield, which is enough 50 plus gear. Offensive aura, we put in 20 into Conviction for the minus resist all on the monsters. Probably we don't need as much as I put in, but I just like to max it out here. And going over to the synergies, which are resist fire, resist cold, resist lightning, and salvation, where we don't put any points in it. But we put into 20 into resist fire to boost up our maximum fire resist as well as the fire damage from Vengeance. Same with to resist lightning, and then the rest of the points in resist cold, because it is the lesser good source of damage, and it's not as good in terms of resistance as lightning and fire, which we need more. Going into the weapons and gear, it has Breath of the Dying in a Berserker Axe that is Ethereal, so high-end setup again. It has all the good stuff that we need: increased attack speed, minus target defense, enhanced damage, life, mana, leech. So pretty good stuff here. The Dream on the Corona, which gives us further lightning damage, which is very nice, because we also spec into that synergy with resist lightning, as well as a Dream Shield. So that's actually also kind of a Dream Paladin, just using Vengeance. Maras for plus skills, Chains of Honor for more plus skills. Of course, you could potentially also use Enigma if you want to teleport around, but like for raw damage output and resistances, this is the better choice. Also, Go Riders for more damage against bosses and just champion monsters for like the Crushing Blow and Deadly Strike. It's very nice. String of Ears for some protection and Lifestone per hit. Raven Frost for Cannot Be Frozen. A dual leech ring, it's not very impressive here, but just to show you an example, just dual leech would be fine. But since we already have dual leech from Breath of the Dying, you can use any other ring that you find suitable. Whoops. And then finally, Dracula's Grasp, also just to survive more with a nice life tap on striking. You can use other stuff like laying on hands or whatever you find. Then we have assortment of some combat skillers, then 5 Aura's Charms, 20 Life Charms, as well as Annie and a Torch. Moving on to the Mercenary, she has a Faith Bow, Fortitude, and Endurance Wizard. Faith is actually pretty nice because it gives us 15 Fanaticism Aura, which on top of like the attack speed that we get from Breath of the Dying puts us at 8 frames per attack, which is the maximum for this setup anyways. So there you go, and then we have enough into strength to equip our gear. I like to put in more to dexterity just for attack rating purposes, because I think attack rating is kind of low here. So I put in 150 into that, and then the rest into vitality. And as you can see, we have like a super high resistance split. We don't even need like some of these charms and stuff, just because of like the Paladin shields give like so much resistance on their own. Let's head up into some gameplay. In the open, I have a CTA and Spirit to buff us up. Then you can also zoom around with Chart, which is pretty nice. And basically you only need like 2 buttons, Conviction Aura and the Vengeance. We have like a really nice survivability here due to our high resistances and life pool. And it's the council. That was pretty easy. Let's put on the text for the life and mana orbs. Where is it? Here. We have 2.6k life. Also head up into the River of Flame. See how it goes here. Conviction Aura does a wonderful job here, lowering the resistance of the, getting it to minus 100, I guess. Some of these do a lot of extra damage. It's still like a single target attack, but you basically don't run into any immunes, of course, because of Conviction, but also because you have a nice damage split in cold, lightning, and fire damage, with more emphasis on lightning damage due to the dream setup as well. Fortunately, the mercenary has a hard time catching up, so we are losing out on the fanaticism aura right now. So there she is, and then you can see we are attacking much faster, because without fanaticism we only have like 10 frames per attack window, but with fanaticism we have 8 frames, so it's noticeable. But again, if you want to use Enigma here, then it's a lot better in terms of mercenary management. And of course, in the Chaos Sanctuary, never the best place for melee characters because of all the curses, and we are not having any cleansing aura right now. This would also be a nice choice, like an Act 5 Barbarian with double plague swords, so you get the cleansing aura and also have the chance to proc low resist, which also helps our damage output. I would not use Dracools then, because it will override the low resist curse. But other than that, I think low resist would be a pretty nice choice. Potentially you could even run the Plague on your Paladin itself. It has a very nice damage output. But this is like the standard high-end Vengeance Paladin build. It is pretty similar to the Seal build, the Zealot. But here we are running the Conviction Aura, of course, which is also nice in a group setup, because you're really supporting your fellow sorcerers and what have you with your Conviction Aura. Let's clear that real quick. Yeah, I don't understand why I'm frozen right now. Oh, he has a whole freeze aura. Okay, I was so confused. Like, don't I have a Raven Frost? And there we go. There's Diablo. Again, not the fastest. I think like with an Enigma, this would be more viable, because then you can just go for the champions and the boss mobs. It's kind of neat and a bit different, having like this elemental damage on the Paladin. But yeah, this is it. This is the Vengeance build. I hope you liked that little showcase, and trying to build like a budget version of it and see how that goes. Maybe that is viable enough to maybe farm some Travincal. It will be a bit tricky because you also need a lot of survivability in there. But I guess with like things like a Spirit Shield, a Laying of Hands, and then maybe Burner Stars, maybe the budget option, and new rumors like Bulwark, it might be okay. So if you want to find out about the budget version, tune in to the next video. Until then, good luck, have fun, and goodbye.